So I was super interested in it. He was talking about Hermetic law or natural law, which are the principles of Hermes. It's like this ancient philosophy based in Egypt. And so when I learned about these laws, it really made so much sense, because it talks about, look, if you believe in gravity, gravity exists whether you believe it or not. These laws also exist whether you like it or not. So it's better to know about it than to be ignorant, which ignorant really means to ignore the truth. So if these little things are coming in there's a reason why they're coming to you. And if you can dig a little deeper into those themes that come into your life, I'm sure you will live a life worth living. And so we're going to dive into this topic a little bit more, because since that time I have really, really grown in like knowing myself and allowing myself to trust the universe, trust myself, and really kind of letting myself be guided. Before this understanding, I was struggling in my relationships. I was like trying to force my relationships, and then in my work, I was trying to force myself to do this work that I really wasn't enjoying. And so when I understood about Hermetic law, which the first principle is mentalism, the all is mind, I was completely just blown away, and I believed that we are the creators of our own life. And so that is super powerful and empowering to really just take that into your own hands and say, I'm going to create my own life, and I'm not going to blame anyone else if things don't go wrong. If I create something and it is incredible, I did that. If I create something and it's not so incredible, I also did that. I have to take responsibility and create my life the way I'd like it to be. And so when I was 24, that was Hermetic law, transcendental meditation, and then I had a human design reading. And this also was like, wow, just understanding how to listen to my own intuition, and then how to listen to my body to be able to know what areas to go in. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more about these different areas, like human design and transcendental meditation and Hermetic law in other episodes. But today I just want to talk about the 7 benefits of knowing yourself. And so the first one is happiness, because if you know what you want and you know what you don't want, then it makes it so much easier to let in what you do want and to say no to what you don't want. And then number 2 is less internal conflict. Because if you know yourself and you know what you want, you're less likely to do things that you don't want to do. And so because you'll have less internal conflict, that'll also help you to have less external conflict. Number 3 is better decision making. Because if I can trust myself to make a decision, and I know how I make decisions, and I know, because I mean, there's so many times that have happened to me where I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't do this, but I'm already here, so I'm going to do it. And then things don't go so well. And I knew, and that's just listening to your intuition. And if I had listened, for example, I just bought a kayak, and I was so excited to use my kayak, and so I'm going to go to the beach and use my kayak. And I get out, and I'm like carrying the kayak, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea. This is really heavy. I don't know, like something was telling me not to, but I was like, well, I'm already here, I really want to do it, so I'm going to do it anyway. So I struggled to carry the kayak all the way to the beach. I struggled to get into the water, and then a wave comes and I lose my cell phone in the water. And so if I had followed my intuition and my own knowing, then I would have avoided that issue. So this is a work in progress. It's like enlightenment isn't some title that you can put on your wall and say, yep, I've reached enlightenment. It's an everyday work. Every day you are putting yourself in a mental state of enlightenment or not. And every moment brings you a different understanding. So if you can reached one level of understanding, you've reached one level of enlightenment. And so every little bit is another level higher and higher that we can get to basically live an easier life. At least that's kind of my goal. I love it when things are easy, when things flow to me, when I have those magical moments where I didn't even plan anything and it just spontaneously happened. I love those moments. So I'm open to receiving more of those, and it happens. But you really have to listen to yourself to be able to make those best decisions for your highest self. Number 4 is self-control. So if I already know who I am, what I want, then I'm more likely to squash those moments where I just want instant gratification and work towards my long-term goals. I have the self-control to know what is going to be good for me in the short and long run. And this all comes from knowing yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you're just like willy-nilly willing to take whatever is thrown at you instead of really knowing what you want and knowing each opportunity and being open to accepting it when it comes to you. Number 5 is resistance to social pressures. Because if I don't know myself, then I can fall into peer pressure super, super easily. But if I know myself, then I have the confidence to stand up for what I believe in, what I want, and I can vocalize what I want and what I believe in. And that just makes me more resistant to social pressures, and it might actually inspire others to also know themselves and to have that confidence to vocalize what they want. Instead of just being a sheep and following what everybody else is doing, because that's boring and basic. Number 6 is compassion and tolerance. So the more that you know yourself, like I know, like I just, is judging when people don't know themselves, but I also understand where they're coming from. And so I have a lot of compassion and tolerance for other people because I have that compassion and tolerance for myself. Because if I know what my traumas have been and what I've had to go through and how I've had to grow from those experiences, then I can understand that other people are also going through their own traumas, are also working through their difficult moments, and so I can have compassion and tolerance for anybody and whatever they're going through, because I know that whatever they're doing is not a reflection of me, and I just can't take anything personally. On the contrary, I can have compassion and tolerance for where people are in the moment, and I don't need them to be where I need them to be for me to be happy. And the last one is vitality, because if I have the confidence to express what I want, then I'm more likely going to be receiving those things that I want. And so that makes my life so much more exciting, and I just feel so full of life every day, just so excited knowing that I'm setting myself up for success and to accept those magical moments in my life. And so out of these 7, which would you like to have more of in your life? Leave me a comment. Let's start a conversation. I can share also some tips on law of attraction, on how to cultivate more of these, well, what are they? These benefits. And there's like plenty of tests also online to know yourself. I can share those links with you too. Lots of great tests to like see where your chakras are out of balance or are overactive, so you know where you need to do some more internal work. There's also a Myers-Briggs personality test to let you know how you think and how you feel about how you make decisions. And just the more that you can understand yourself, the less you are to question why you do things, because you just know why and you have that confidence to live it out. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I have to talk about today. I am so excited for this new space to talk about these topics. We're going to talk about mindfulness. We're also going to talk about what you need to know as an expat, or as someone who wants to be an expat living in Mexico or in Vallarta specifically. We're gonna have different guests each week, different artists in town who are English speakers, different business owners who are expats who can talk about how to run a business as an expat in Mexico. We can talk about, where to get your plates for your car as an American, or where you need to get help with doing your taxes as an expat. We're going to talk about lots of things, so stay tuned with us each week here on Mindful Magic. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.